MindsEye just dropped, and YouTube is already buzzing. We picked 6 most popular MindsEye review videos to see what gamers saying. Number 1. MindsEye before you buy. This video delivers a structured, fact-driven assessment. It opens by explaining the game's origin, developed by Build a Rocket Boy under ex-Rockstar leadership, and the high expectations it faced. The reviewer immediately separates MindsEye's aesthetics from its systems. While it looks impressive in trailers, it fails to deliver compelling gameplay. Performance varies by platform, with PC offering better frame rates, but frequent crashes, and console versions suffering from capped 30 FPS and inconsistent textures. Gameplay-wise, the reviewer notes a lack of depth. Movement is rigid, AI behavior is simplistic, and most missions feel overly scripted. The game appears open-world, but behaves like a linear action title. Customization is absent. No clothing changes, skill trees, or meaningful gear upgrades. The reviewer highlights how interactions with the world feel superficial, with most NPCs acting like static props. While the story has moments of intrigue, particularly the mystery around the MindsEye implant, it's undermined by erratic pacing and poor dialogue. Voice acting and cinematics are described as serviceable, but undercut by immersion-breaking bugs. Driving is described as floaty and underwhelming, and gunfights lack impact. The reviewer concludes that MindsEye might appeal to players seeking spectacle over substance, but for most gamers it feels unfinished. Their advice is cautious. Wait for patches or a price drop, as the current state doesn't justify full price. Number 2. Is MindsEye as bad as everyone is saying? This video delivers a brutally honest and comedic critique of MindsEye, a game the reviewer describes as worse than you've heard. Although the reviewer is near completion of the game, they call it an entertainingly bad experience, not in a redeeming way, but in a bizarre spectacle of failure. While cutscenes, voice acting, and visuals are praised, virtually everything else is panned. Gameplay is outdated, repetitive, and painfully boring, with just 5 guns, no melee or stealth, and missions reduced to drone flying, dull gunfights, and awkward car chases with forced dialogue pacing. The game is plagued with bugs and crashes, even on PS5, and is locked at 30 FPS with poor optimization. The reviewer slams the story for being messy and the characters for delivering cringeworthy, AI-like quips. Expectations of open-world freedom are shattered. It's a linear mission-to-mission game masquerading as something deeper. Side content is laughably weak, and even central systems like police bots don't function. The reviewer notes that many influencers were paid to promote the game, but even they struggled to fake enthusiasm, with sponsored streams often crashing mid-play. Despite all this, the reviewer finds joy in how creatively awful MindsEye is. They urge viewers not to buy it at its $60 price point, suggesting it's only enjoyable if you love train wrecks. Ultimately, the review presents MindsEye as a broken, misguided title that's memorable only because of how uniquely bad it is. Number 3. I played the GTA 6 killer, so you don't have to. MindsEye, developed by Build a Rocket Boy, was marketed as a GTA 6 killer, but has launched in a shockingly unfinished state. Despite being founded by former Rockstar Games producer Leslie Benzies, the game suffers from poor performance, frequent crashes, and underwhelming gameplay. The reviewer experienced 4 crashes within the first 20 minutes and noted unstable frame rates, even on high-end PCs. Console performance is capped at 30 FPS, making the game feel outdated. While the story has intriguing elements and strong cutscene animation, the gameplay is severely limited. It pretends to be open world but is actually highly linear, with no real exploration allowed, no usable world map, and no consequences for actions like murdering NPCs. The lack of a police system or meaningful interactivity makes the world feel hollow. There's no character customization, and driving mechanics, though better than Saints Row 2022, fall short of industry standards. AI behavior is erratic, NPCs act unrealistically, and side missions are shallow. The lack of basic systems, like healing mechanics or gameplay variety, makes MindsEye feel more like a tech demo than a finished product. Although the visuals and acting are commendable, they're not enough to salvage the experience. The game had minimal marketing, peaked at just 3,000 Steam players, and feels rushed due to what the reviewer suspects was a funding shortfall. While it can be enjoyed ironically for its brokenness, the reviewer strongly advises against buying it unless you're seeking an absurdly flawed but occasionally amusing experience. Number 4. MindsEye launch is an absolute disaster. The video serves more as visual proof than commentary, with the creator showing nearly 3 minutes of unedited gameplay footage to highlight the game's poor quality. The presentation begins with an NPC firing wildly in random directions and eventually fleeing in panic, illustrating the game's unintelligent AI behavior. The performance issues are glaring throughout. The reviewer notes extremely low frame rates, even during cutscenes, with frequent stutters and poor optimization, despite running the game on high-end hardware, RX 7900 XTX and Ryzen 9 9800X 3D. Frame rates reportedly dip to around 36 FPS, with GPU and CPU at full utilization, showing how poorly the game is optimized. Glitches are rampant, ranging from players floating in midair and running on top of vehicles, to vehicles and NPCs behaving erratically. In one scene, shooting at NPCs causes cars to suddenly leap into the air or twitch unnaturally. Characters often clip through vehicles or fall to the ground without any real contact. The video draws a direct comparison to Cyberpunk 2077's infamous launch, suggesting MindsEye might even be worse in terms of bugs and polish. Another example shows water from a fire hydrant spraying unrealistically through a car, further highlighting the broken physics system. Overall, the video portrays MindsEye as a severely underdeveloped and bug-ridden game with weak AI, broken physics, and massive performance problems. The developer's failure to deliver a playable experience leaves players frustrated and comparing it to some of gaming's most troubled launches. Number 5. I tried MindsEye on launch day. In this video, Luke Stevens reviews MindsEye on its launch day after returning from Summer Games Fest. Despite being developed by Build a Rocket Boy, the new studio led by ex-Rockstar dev Leslie Benzies, the game launched in a highly unfinished state. No review codes were sent out, only sponsored ones, raising suspicion. While early impressions online are overwhelmingly negative, Luke tries to give the game a fair shot on his PS5 Pro with all patches applied. Performance issues are immediate: low resolution, capped 30 FPS, and heavy screen tearing. Graphics settings are bare bones, and the gameplay feels sluggish and underdeveloped. The AI is weak, shooting mechanics are clunky, and the game world, though large, is poorly utilized. Cutscenes are well rendered and the voice acting is decent, but over 70% of the opening hours are cinematic, possibly masking core gameplay flaws and helping dodge Steam refund policies. Luke believes MindsEye was meant to be part of a broader platform, everywhere, and was rushed into becoming a standalone title. Many side quests feel disconnected, reminiscent of tech demos rather than a cohesive world. He criticizes executive mismanagement, noting how rushed development affects not only the final product, but also the livelihoods of the developers involved. In conclusion, while MindsEye shows glimpses of potential, it's currently buggy, poorly optimized, and lacks engaging gameplay. Luke recommends avoiding the game until major fixes are implemented. He ends with a heartfelt reminder that behind every bad release are real people impacted by upper-level decisions. Number 6. MindsEye is exactly what I feared. In this candid playthrough review hybrid, YouTuber Maddie explores MindsEye on launch day and confirms his worst fears about the game's quality. He had previously suggested the game needed a delay, a warning ignored by the developers, Build a Rocket Boy, who dismissed critics as biased. Since then, the studio has seen key staff departures, and employee reviews signal internal trouble. From the start, the game reveals major issues: frequent texture pop-ins, poor performance, even on high-end PCs with RTX 3080s, severe frame drops, and bizarre physics glitches. Maddie highlights immersion-breaking AI, inconsistent mission logic, unresponsive NPCs, lack of a proper crime system, and an overall incoherent open-world structure. Strangely, the game's free roam is just a menu option, and there's no working in-game map or proper mission flow. Gameplay systems feel unfinished or baffling. Players can't jump, shoot from vehicles, or even exit cars during missions. Combat is clunky, bullets vanish mid-air, and enemy AI fails to respond meaningfully. Missions rely on awkward exposition dumps via car dialogues. Maddie points out how inconsistent design rules result in gameplay that feels arbitrary and restrictive. The only slightly redeeming feature is driving mechanics, which feel decent but cannot salvage the rest. Ultimately, Maddie concludes the game is a surreal mess, ambitious but fundamentally broken, with baffling design choices and technical issues that make Cyberpunk 2077's launch look polished in comparison. He ends by inviting viewers to share their thoughts, calling the experience one of the most bizarre he's ever had in gaming. MindsEye's launch has been rough, buggy, broken, and far below expectations. Across all 6 reviews, players reported weak AI, poor optimization, and gameplay that feels unfinished and misleadingly linear. It's clear the game needed more time in development, but all is not lost. If Cyberpunk 2077 could rebound from a disastrous launch to become a respected title, so can MindsEye. With serious commitment to patches, fixes, and listening to players, there's still hope this ambitious project can find its footing. Let's hope Build a Rocket Boy rises to the challenge, because underneath the mess, there's still a spark worth saving.